Hip-hop was born in New York City. It was born in Lower Manhattan and in certain regions of the Bronx where African American, Latin American youth would come together and they would use their bodies to express themselves alongside their beats, turntabling, and their poetic harmonies that they would rap. In recent years, I became a fan of breakdancing. I've always been a fan of hip-hop, but I actually started to get into like the dancing part of expressing yourself with hip-hop, and that's like b-boying, b-girling, breakdancing. And my favorite group out of all of so many talented groups and dancers are, the Jabbawockeez, because they won ABDC Season 1, America's Best Dance Crew. And that's why I chose this topic, because I'm in New York, I'm a new dance fan, and I love the Jabbawockeez. But I noticed something. A lot of the members in the Jabbawockeez, they were Filipino. And then I started to realize something when I looked at the members in my favorite group, and then I started to look around at like the broader context of b-boying and breakdancing. Why are so many breakdancers Asian? So how did this happen? Why are there so many Asians in breakdancing? I found the works of two authors that helped me to understand the answers to my question. The first author is Dr. Grace Shin-Hye Jun. She's a dancer and a scholar. She has a PhD in drama and theater. She's been teaching at San Diego City College for over 20 years. Not too long ago, she produced a chapter called Asian American Liminality, Racial Triangulation in Hip-Hop Dance in the Oxford Handbook of Hip-Hop Studies. A part of her thesis is that while we see Asian Americans increasingly integrating into the hip-hop culture, breakdance culture, we also see a simultaneous erasure of the originating Black and Brown communities that birthed this culture in the first place. My second author is Dr. Oliver Wang. He's a researcher. He has a PhD in ethnic studies and a bachelor in sociology. He published a chapter in a book as well. His chapter is called These Are the Breaks, Hip-Hop and Afro-Asian Cultural Disconnections. This is a reference to a Curtis Blow song. So Dr. Wang's chapter can be found in a book called Afro-Asian Encounters, Culture, History, Politics, and his chapter is chapter 8. Dr. Wang's thesis doesn't argue the erasure, but he does say that, he does challenge, is hip-hop really the social cultural space that can unify different ethnicities? Is it really this idealized space where we can achieve just ultimate unity? Sources were easy to find for Dr. Grace's chapter. You just type in the first few keywords, Asian American Liminality, and you get a very quick results on Google Scholar and on Google Books. You can preview the whole chapter except one page that's omitted for free. For Dr. Wang's chapter, I purchased the ebook, the entire book, on Google Play Books so I could read the chapter. But later on, I did find a website that you could read the entire chapter in PDF form for free. But that was after the fact. I already paid for the book. I already read the chapter. My money's gone. The Wikipedia article that I found to edit for this project, it's called Asian American Hip Hop. It was very easy to find. You just type in Asian American Hip Hop and it pops up. I took for my first source from Dr. Grace to edit the first paragraph that you see at the top. So we know there's the whole model minority stereotype that is attached to Asians and Asian Americans. On the West Coast, in these California colleges, most of their student populations are Asians, whether it's international or whether they're domestic. And there's a lot of culture clubs, Korean culture club, Filipino culture club, Japanese culture club, with these young people, and they're together, they're doing college life, and there's a lot of dances, cultural dances that they have in these clubs. And they're also on college, there's college parties, there's popular dances like the WAP and the Running Man. This is mid to late 80s. We have movies like Breakin' in 1983. We got the Rocksteady crew in the movie Flashdance. So this is the media that these young people are seeing, and at least in dance, it explains why we have so many California-based Asian or Asian American dance crews, breakdance crews, b-boying crews, b-girling crews. And so she offers, this is at least one way to look at how this phenomenon came to be, at least here in America. She also explains that there's a following generation of collegiate dance teams, that they're further nurtured by, films like Save the Last Dance 2001, Honey 2003, You Got Served 2004, Step Up 2006, and Stomp the Yard 2007. So we have all these commercial successes of these movies and this media, and young people, there's new technology for them to be exposed to it, for them to participate in it. Later on in the 2000s, when YouTube became popular, now it's a lot easier for people to share videos, to find videos, and now you have this exponential growth of not just young people in America, but also also Asian American young people integrating themselves into breakdance, street dance, hip hop, b-boy, b-girl. So I mostly wanted to focus on the breakdancing aspect of hip hop and urban culture, but there aren't a lot of sources out there, unfortunately, for me to use. Dr. Grace's book chapter was one of the more solid ones that was scholarly and it was peer-reviewed. But I did broaden my search since my article says Asian American hip hop and not Asian American hip hop dance or breakdancing. So that's how I chose my second source. And this source was from Dr. Wang, and he looks at the history of individuals or rap groups that participated in hip hop throughout the mid to late 80s, mid to late 90s, early and mid 2000s. Dr. Wang's chapter, I found that his explanation as to why Asian Americans participate in hip hop or in urban spoken word or rap culture is very similar to Dr. Jun's explanation, in that it started on college campuses, at least in California on the West Coast. All these young people on the campuses, they would be together in their clubs, but some of them had different interests, and then that would intersect. And then you would often see, he said, that they would go to clubs. They would have poetry jams and slams on campus. There would be ciphers, and that's where you see these young Asians participating and intersecting with hip-hop culture. Now, I found this really interesting, but I also didn't want to include it in my edits because it just sounded a bit repetitive to focus kind of like on the same thing, even though it's like the same theory. It's just that one applies to breakdancing and the other one applies to spoken word hip-hop, and I didn't really want to do that. So in the end, I chose to edit 2 subheadings. One rap group is for the Mountain Brothers. They're like from the 1990s. And then for an individual artist, his name is MC Jin. He's a Chinese American rapper, and he's under the subheading for like the 2000s era. And I chose to just add more details under their names. So like their accolades, or maybe their criticisms, their achievements, and just different details on like what their career entailed, because Dr. Wang also provided that in his chapter. So in the end, even though I wasn't able to find more sources than one to explain my initial question as to why I was seeing what I was seeing on the hip hop and breakdance scene, which is why are there so many Asians, and they're killing it. How did they get here? I'm pretty satisfied with the theory that I found in Dr. Grace's book chapter. It was pretty satisfactory and is very plausible, I believe. She was there, she's a dancer, she's been a dancer, she's been teaching, she's had a lot of time to participate herself as an Asian American and kind of give her take using research and what she's found to explain the phenomenon that I was seeing.